Cheerio and tally ho, no DQ Galaxy. It is I again, the Wizard of No DQ, Stephen Osborne, joined of course by the General, Jerry Slaughter. And today on the NXTea Party, we have our first special guest. Obviously I don't need to introduce the new First Lady of No DQ, Cindy G. How are you doing, Cindy?
I'm doing pretty good so far, just tired because it's like 12:30 in the morning in the West Coast. So, yeah, I'm getting the hang of it.
We feel you.
Yep. But hey.
So, were you surprised by the fact that we ended up with 2 episodes this week?
Honestly, it was pretty unexpected. Now that the whole Mae Young Classic has finally come to an end ever since what happened at Evolution. And I didn't expect that we're going to have another episode of NXT UK. Like, on episode 3, they stated, we're going to have this match next week. And lo and behold, the next week's match has already happened on another episode. So to me, I mean, it is a good double dose of the NXT UK just to see like what's going to lead up with the build-up.
I thought about that too. It's like they haven't really had a chance to show so much of their talent just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, they recycled a lot within this episode.
They recycled a lot of jobbers, I know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was particularly surprised, but I guess it makes sense because from what I've gathered, there is a large backlog of episodes of NXT from where they were just recording shows without having an outlet in the UK to actually broadcast. And I guess now that they're just doing it on the network, they've got several months of shows to catch up. So I get the feeling we're going to have 2 episodes per week for several weeks until we finally make it to more of an NXT style, record 4 weeks worth and then show a month or 2 weeks or whatever they do at a time.
Yeah.
But for now, I think we're going to have 2 hours worth of NXT UK to review every week. So in that vein, in that spirit, I want to get all the plugs out of the way for this guy here who has no Twitter. And I'm trying to get all of our fans to help me convince him to get a Twitter so that he can talk to you guys. I also want to invite, obviously we have Cindy G on this week. I want to invite the No DQ Galaxy. If you are a fan and if you watch NXT UK, DM me, find me at nodq.com/Stefan, STEFAN, or just Stephen R. Osborne, OSBORNE. We will get you on the show if we can, if our schedules line up as so. However, we do have 2 weeks of NXT UK to review, so I say we get right into it.
Mm-hmm.
Started off episode 3, or part 1 for this week, with Trent Seven versus Saxon Huxley.
Pretty much nothing to really write home about. Like, I'm not really familiar with Mustache Mountain because I'm just now getting into the NXT products and whatnot. But Trent Seven didn't really impress me as much as
What's the other half of Mustache?
Tyler Bates.
Tyler Bates, there we go.
Yeah, didn't impress me nearly as much. So, but there's still lots of chops, lots of lariats in this match out of Trent Seven.
It wasn't even a very long match.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't call it a showcase match because it didn't make either guy look particularly good. I wouldn't call it a jobber match because it didn't make either guy look particularly bad.
Mm-hmm.
Trent Seven had a bunch of chops. He had the 7-star lariat. And then he finished the match with, what was it?
A burning hammer.
A burning hammer. And then the pinfall. Like, honestly, this started out pretty much the way that this entire episode was going to go for me.
Yeah.
I was not blown away by this episode at all. How did you feel, Cindy?
Well, honestly, I would say it's like a pretty decent start of the match, let alone the fact that, like, I got quite distracted of the UK chant, like, from the crowd. Like, you have is, like, Saxton's cerebral chant to, like, "You look like Jesus" chant to Saxon. I was like, this is pretty interesting. And then, remember when WWE comes to the UK and then when Bayley comes out and then everybody starts singing, "Will you be my girl?" That chant brought it up to this match, and it's like, I'm pretty sure that they were somewhat entertained by it because it's Trent Seven, very well known in the UK scene and all across of Europe. And little known fact that if you guys been watching Progress Pro, he is your current Progress Wire champion, and he's the new Progress Wire champion. He defeated Doug Williams at Hello Wembley, which of course Doug Williams from Impact Wrestling. He's officially retired.
Ring of Honor even. He's on the first bill, and I think was in for the first championship for Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's awesome. So.
He is.
Well, I was not blown away by this match.
Yeah.
I think out of Mustache Mountain, Trent Seven is kind of just there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very obvious as a single wrestler, he is as well just kind of there.
He's more of the mouthpiece of the group, and Tyler Bate is more of the we'll go ahead and say talent.
Yeah, he's the talent.
Like the muscles.
He's the talent, man.
Yeah.
So we opened into a video package for Joe and Mark, the Coffee Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of recap the little feud that they're kind of developing from all the way back in I think June, the last time WWE was in UK.
Yeah, the UK tournament.
This is kind of building between Flash Morgan Webster, Mark Andrews, and who's the other guy?
Travis Banks.
Yeah,
Yep.
Travis Banks.
The Kiwi Buzzsaw.
So we actually get an interview with Flash Morgan Webster because he's got a match coming up next with Mark Coffey. And Webster kind of basically recaps them double teaming on Mandrews last week and then him coming out for the save. And it's pretty standard. Most of this show did not engage me at all. It was just kind of there. But this match was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a sizable difference between, Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Coffey. And that's what I kind of liked about the match was the fact that you were going to have those two different styles. You were going to have more of the aerial moves versus like a lot more ground and pound from Mark Coffey. And but Flash Morgan, he had more of the aerial Hurricane Rana, flippy, spinny shit action.
Kind of like cruiserweight per se.
Yeah.
I didn't really see it until he did the standing 720 senton onto Coffey behind him. That was pretty cool.
That was impressive. The first thing that struck me was the same thing that struck you. I'm like, is he gonna wear that suit and like jacket the entire match?
It was a 270, not a 720.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 720 is like two complete rotations. That's like Jack Evans on the top of the cage.
It's a 270. It's 3/4 of a full turn. It was impressive, but he wasn't impressive enough to be believable going over one of the Coffey brothers where Joe was.
Joe Coffey, yeah.
I mean, it was one thing for Mandrews to do it, a week or two ago. Yeah. But now we've got another singles guy going over the other Coffey brother, and basically the Coffey brothers are the only other thing that we have to a legitimate tag team other than Mustache Mountain. So I don't see why they're kind of having them lose both matches, unless they're going to lose both singles matches and then go into a tag match and win.
Yeah, that's one of the way I can see it happening too, because we've already had Mustache Mountain try to encourage people, the tag team division and everything. They want a tag team division for like NXTea UK, but at the same time, they've already shown weak links in their in the tag, in at least the singles competition with the tag partners. So maybe that's what they're trying to do. Maybe they're just going to pass them off more to the tag team and show them as single stars. They aren't really that great, or put in situations where if they're just riding solo, it's just not going to work for them.
Hopefully that's the case, because I don't like the idea of burying your only other legitimate tag team on the show.
To quote good old Jam Jeff Meacham, now see, here's the thing. Now with how they're trying to build up with the tag team division, it's just kind of like more of like, kind of like how they're trying to grow out, see which of the stars are gonna like, you know, make an alliance together. Because so far we have is Mustache Mountain, we have is the Coffee Brothers, and now they're trying to form a tag team between Flash Morgan Webster, which I'm very highly a fan of him. I mean, I did listen to his podcast, Wrestling with Friends, him and also Mark Andrews. Like, they're trying to form like kind of a cruiserweight style tag team. Yeah. Like, I could think of another tag team that is like currently on 205 Live. Let's see. Gentleman Jack Gallagher, Andrew Gulak, for example. Yeah. And with that, they're trying to see like how they're going to work things out with the tag team division. And to be quite honest, I'd rather see one more tag team to be more formed. And that way we can have like more of like a good buildup of the storyline as well. Because the thing is, like, they're starting off with like a tag team feud between the Coffee Brothers and Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews, just for like a good pivotal point. While Mustache Mountain, they're just like doing either tag team division competition or singles competition, because everybody know who they are, and some of the people in Europe know who they are as well.
Yeah, that sounds good and it makes sense. But then we end the match with the Coffee Brothers doing the double team like they did last week. But this week, instead of just one guy coming out to make the save, we had both Mark Andrews and Travis Banks. So it's going from a tag team to a 3-man tag, or a small stable, if you will. And so I'm not really sure that they're creating a tag team for legitimate as a legitimate contender for the tag team championships here. They're just going for storyline.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I would at this point I would like to see for the tag team champions for the initial inaugural champion. They like to see Mustache Mountain versus the Coffee Brothers.
Exactly.
Faces versus heels, but they're not really setting up the Coffee Brothers to look like they belong in that spot.
Yeah.
That's the only problem I have. It was a good match.
It is.
And Flash Morgan Webster looked great.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
I didn't like the finish. He had a crucifix roll-up, kind of fluky. It's one of those where it's like, eh.
There wasn't really a lot of torque to it, for one, and two, it just kind of looked more flashy than it actually did effective. It was looked like he was more taken by surprise than anything else. Yeah. It was a very, I'm going to say, a flaccid pin. But
a pin nonetheless, and the win goes to Flash Morgan.
Yeah. And may I add that there's the crowd chanting "creepy bastards." That kind of made me laugh.
The crowd is very interesting in that arena, because everybody can hear everybody, and they kind of tell each other jokes. And it was cute on the first episode, but it started to get on my nerves during this one. And
Thank you.
Like, when the whole crowd busts out laughing, and there's nothing in the match storyline wise that's supposed to be funny, it just kind of takes away from the match to me.
That kind of tells me that they're not really paying attention to what's really going on.
Exactly.
I was more worried about getting a program to record this 3-way or 2-way call, which of course didn't get done. We wasted an hour on that.
Sorry, Aaron.
maybe that was why I didn't get so engaged with this episode. But honestly, I didn't find anything, maybe up until the main event about this episode, and it was like halfway through the main event before I was like, okay, now I'm paying attention. But next up, we had a video package for Jenny, and we saw her in the Mae Young Classic.
Jenny Couture.
And she's a fashionista, and she wears nice clothes, and that's about it.
Which I did a lot of research about Jenny. So Jenny has been started since 2015 at the Progress Dojo, or should I say Projo, and she also been trained by Jimmy Havoc as well. She's like one of those top heel in the European indie wrestling company, especially internationally. And she's the current Progress Women's Champion as well. Like, as of now, that I did pay attention to some of the storyline, what's going on with Progress, that she has kind of like a brief stable called the House of Couture, along with Lauren DiMartino, Nina Samuel, which she did make an appearance at Past and the next episode of NXT UK, along with Charlie Morgan, which she's also in the NXT UK division, and Charlie Morgan, Nina Samuel, and I forget that one more person, but then I saw that the House of Couture stable is already been broken up because of what happened at Hello Wembley, because Ginny and Laura DiMartino did escape while Jordynne Grace came out and attacked 3 members of the House of Couture. And then on the last one, Ginny and Lauren did attack Isla Dawn, and I forget that other wrestlers, because I'm tired and all that. And then Nina and Charlie did attack Ginny and Lauren, and that's when this whole like stable broken up. So like with Ginny, she's like one of those top heel where like you gotta be more glamorous and more fashionable. But yeah, her finisher, the Rainmaker, is very spot on perfect. But it doesn't match the Rainmaker as to Kazuchika Okada. Yep.
And you wouldn't be able to tell by this video promo. Like you wouldn't be able to tell how good she is or if top anything. The video promo was almost like just her walking around in nice clothes.
Because that's...
I like the fact that it made it kind of look like a Maybelline commercial.
And that's how much I admire...
Who knows? Wrestling talent.
Yeah. And that's how much I admire Ginny's fashionista character, especially her in-ring ability. And I have a feeling that she's going to be one of those top heel in the NXT UK division, along with other NXT UK women's star, which we'll talk about it in the near future. But yeah.
So next up, we had a enhancement match for Danny Burch. We had Sam Gradwell, who actually looked really good, but again, it wasn't much of an engaging match. Danny Burch looked about as boring as he normally does in a tag team with Ollie.
Yeah.
The only time I've seen him wrestle where it was engaging to me was at Chicago, at NXT Takeover Chicago.
Too.
But maybe that's just because I was there.
Yeah.
And of course they were facing the Undisputed Era, so that helps. But this was, meh. Like all of this show up until this point for me was meh.
Which was really great though, because the match ended with the DDT, which you'd actually said on our last show that you usually just do that on his own.
I think I said that on the NXT Halloween Spectacular last night. He was doing the finisher with Oney Lorcan, where he does that DDT off of Oney Lorcan's shoulders.
Oh wow!
And you couldn't figure out the reason why we didn't like the move so much. And then I'm like, you know what? It's because he could do that move without a partner. He could just do it off of the top rope. And here, that's how we see the match end. He does that draping DDT off the top rope.
And that's it. Yeah, I mean... Oh, go on.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, yeah, because, like, with this match, it's like... It's kind of like, this is Danny Burch's first solo match in quite a while now, besides the one that we all saw in NXT. I mean, he's trying to be like one of those top guy in the UK division, let alone the fact that he was in the industry for like more than 10 years.
Yeah.
It used to be where he used to be known as Martin Stone before he became Danny Burch. And so I can understand how WWE is trying to book him in the right way. And I want to say something about Sam Gradwell. I mean, seeing him again since last year's NXT UK is kind of complete 180 change, because they show the they showed kind of like a brief promo of like his first appearance from last year's NXT UK. He was like all bald and have like, I think some facial hair. Now he has like what, a mohawk and a full.
I think the crowd started chanting, "You look stupid."
I love.
Which is weird because I was thinking, it's like, God, I didn't think they came whiter than Sheamus.
Yeah.
But this guy is just almost translucent.
Yeah.
And they did the same chant that Sheamus when he started wearing the braces.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned how they're trying to place him as a top guy in the championship picture, because he follows up this match with a promo that insists that he should be in the championship. He basically calls out and challenges Pete Dunne for the WWE UK Championship, and we actually get a payoff for this tonight, although not during this episode. Move on to the main event, which was like 23 minutes of Noam Dar versus Zach Gibson.
Oh, yeah.
And it pretty much went the way that I knew that it was going to go. They're trying to make Zach Gibson look like a credible contender now. And to do that, beat the former contender.
Yeah.
I was basically asleep for the first half of this match.
Okay.
Until we had Zach Gibson lock in, I don't know what does he call it?
The Shankly Gate.
The Shankly Gate. He locked it in, I think, for the second or third time of his attempt. He finally locks it in, and it looks like the match is going to be over. So I start making notes. And suddenly Noam Dar gets to the ropes. And then he starts working on Gibson's knee, and suddenly both guys look like neither one of them can continue. But there's still 6 minutes left to this match.
Because you had Dar favoring his, I think it was left shoulder.
Yeah.
Gibson was working on his arm. Noam Dar was working on Gibson's knee, trying to get that knee bar, or eventually the grapevine ankle lock.
Yep.
That's where I got into this match, and I started to really enjoy this episode. It took that long.
There was a lot of wear down and a lot of taunting more than anything in the match, and then when it finally did start picking up steam, by that time they had pretty much broken each other down to the point where they could even move in the ring. So
they were barely moving after this match.
And what about that? Okay, first of all, what do you think of that Star Wars sing-along chant? Like, I know the crowd started saying dun 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 during the match. It's like
that's Darth Vader's theme.
Yeah.
And since Noam's last name is Dar, they connect that with Darth Vader, and there we go.
Oh, that makes sense. And what was the chant to get Zach Gibson? Because I don't know if you like Zach Gibson, you suck. I don't know, because whatever that is, I was pretty entertained by it.
They really hate Zach Gibson.
Yeah.
Like last week, I think it was, when he did the promo where he was trying to call out Pete Dunne and then ended up calling out Noam Dar. The crowd booed him from the time he came out to the time he left.
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
because the heel.
Exactly.
They booed him for who he is.
Exactly. And I honestly feel that Zach Gibson shouldn't be the winner of the whole UK tournament, but I'm glad that he lost to Pete Dunne, at the UK tournament finale, because I'm not even a huge fan of Zach Gibson whatsoever. I mean, he is a good in-ring talent, but something about him kind of sets me off a bit. But yeah, exactly. But I would say it's at first, because I was still too distracted with this whole crowd chant, because I do pay attention with how the crowds are going to be reacting, especially we're in a different country as well. I feel like the UK crowds are alike than the Chicago crowd for all it matters. But I was pretty impressed with Noam Dar. He did improve quite a lot ever since coming back from his injury, on 205 Live, and now to the NXT UK. He is one of the top stars in this particular division. It's sad, the way that WWE is booking him in 205 Live seems to be lackluster. but he's very well loved in the UK. But overall, the match, it was pretty impressive, especially at the end when Zach Gibson did the Helter Skelter finisher.
Well,
Yeah.
the swinging for circle next week.
Yeah,
Yep.
we call it. It's like a rampage. The way Paige would set up her DDT, a rampage into a vertical swinging neck breaker.
Yeah.
And I never thought I would use those words together because it looks like it would be something that's dangerous. But he performed it very well, and I've never seen it before, and so I was impressed at the end of this match, just not for most of the beginning of it.
Exactly.
So around here on the NXT Party, we like to do our ratings based off of 5 liters of tea into the gallon. Because it is the only contrived way we can think to get a 5-point system. So I've got here my gallon of tea, and 5 liters just barely overflows a gallon. So you are our guest. We are going to go to you first. This is the main event of the night, and we always judge the main event, whether it's a match or whether it's a segment or whatnot. Out of 5 liters of tea, where would you put this match?
Well, based on this match so far, I mean, I was pretty impressed because, like, the crowd was, like, very hot in the beginning. And then, like, the way that Zach Gibson is, like, trying to re-injure Noam Dar, and then how Noam is trying to make a comeback. But then the ending, to me, it kind of sets me off a bit as well. So for that, but I'm going to say this, I would give this match, like, an overall score, a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, it was about average, I would say.
It's a little above middle of the road. Yeah, I would go 3.
I'd say about 3 too. So,
3 stars. So we are all in agreement.
Yep.
Spilling a little bit of spilling a little bit of NXT. So that is part 1. That would be episode number 3, the first episode that we got tonight. Thank God that the second episode was so much better.
Yeah.
And maybe I was more engaged because the end of that main event kind of finally pulled me into the show. But this one was a lot better. Now, we started off this episode with Mustache Mountain, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be a match or if it was going to be a promo, because the last time they came out for a promo, they looked like they were ready for a match.
Yeah.
And I had to inform him that the bell rang the second they started coming down the ramp. It was ready to go. So we were going to have ourselves a match.
So in this match, we get the pair of jobbers that we saw last week as a new tag team. So somebody answered the challenge of Mustache Mountain to get together, form a team, and see if you can beat us. And did you go into this match thinking Mustache Mountain was going to lose at all?
Nope. Especially how the crowd is, like, chanting. Like, you have, like, in the start of the match, you have the crowd chanting to Saxton Huxley, still the "you look like Jesus" chant, and then from there on, more random chants, and then they also sing again the whole "Will you be my girl" song. It's like, I feel this crowd is not utterly engaged to this match. They all just want to see because of Mustache Mountain, for crying out loud. But I would say this, like, it is a pretty decent, good start, but not the best. But it's just kind of feel like more of a warm-up because of how they're going to execute with each of the episode of NXT UK. But I would say this, like, Sam did the, pretty much did the whole until Saxton did the backstab, like a tag team signature move. Well, Saxton did the backstabber, followed by Sam did the Boston Crab to Trent.
It was like an Arn Anderson spine buster.
Yeah. Yes.
It wasn't completely executed perfectly, but the idea was there and it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
For a team that's never teamed together, for them to pull off a move like that, and it actually, like, for the first time, it actually did look. It looked all right. They just didn't land it as well as they could.
And maybe that's part of a good story. It's their first tag team match together. So I'm okay with that. They look good. Seven looked decent. like he did in his singles match on the previous episode. He looked decent. And Tyler Bate, as usual, looked great.
Yep.
And then the two jobbers, I'm going to have to look at their names.
Sax.
Gradwell and Huxley. They look pretty good, too. They look better than Seven did. And together they look like a decent team. The match was...
Poor Trent Seven.
For a quicker match, it was paced very well. And it didn't exactly tell a story in the ring other than the fact that these two guys are brand new as a tag team, and so there's going to be a few, mix up some problems, but they still kind of look. I like the match, honestly.
Yeah,
that could have been a new event, and I would have been happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't Tyler win the match by a roll up?
No. Okay.
Or so what? Because I kind of blinked for a moment. Yeah.
We had Trent Seven put. I don't even know which one. He put one of the guys.
Yeah,
into
Sam.
Full Nelson. And so Tyler Bate springs off, or rebounds off the ropes with that. We're going to call it the Peter Pan rebound because he looks like I don't want to call it Superman because everybody uses the Superman pose. It's like Peter Pan. He's flying, but his head's down because he's looking down, and he catches the rope back here on his neck. He rebounds off of that into a clothesline. And
knocked
then,
him right into Neverland.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
he follows up the full Nelson with a half Nelson slam.
Okay, so that's because that match made me blink. Yeah.
I think what made it good looking was that clothesline. It was vicious.
Yeah, it looked. Again, Tyler Bate makes the match look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a good match, and then we show in the back we've got a camera on Travis Banks, who is a part of, again, like we said, the three guys, him and the guy with three names.
Flash Morgan Webster.
There we go. Flash Morgan Webster and Mandrews against the Coffee Brothers. And so he's taken out in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Something's wrong. He's injured, something. Obviously, he's not going to be able to make the match tonight. The only match that we had scheduled that we knew about. So obviously, it's going to be the main event. Well, maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we had a video package for the debut of Isla Dawn. And she is nicknamed the Modern Day Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks cool. The video looked pretty cool, but we'll talk about her in a minute because we're actually going to get to the match. But again, another video package. Everybody gets video package.
Yay!
So we've got a video package for Jenny again.
Yay!
Looks about the same. I apologize if you want to get into this. I really don't because it's going to be a time crunch anyway. It was basically the same kind of video package as the last episode. And then we get an interview backstage with Johnny Saint. This is where we're going to find out the fallout of the attack. And Johnny doesn't know who did it, but Mark Andrews approaches him, and he's got a pretty good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, just pretty much put him in the match instead.
Well, he assumes it was the Coffee Brothers.
Yeah.
It was the Coffee Brothers.
Yeah.
But now he wants in the match, as a tribute, he's going to take his spot, and it's going to be, hopefully, him versus Wolfgang tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Does this improve, or does this make any difference for you looking forward to the main event?
Well, I was kind of like in shock that it kind of changed it up at the last minute because I honestly was looking forward to see Travis Banks' NXT UK debut match. Like, that was what I was looking forward to it because I've been following Travis Banks like for like a year and a half now while he was doing his different independent wrestling show. He's very popular in Europe, but also in his home country of New Zealand and all around the world. Like, I even stated on Twitter that Travis Banks is going to be the next top star in NXT UK. And I could see him being the one that's going to get a NXT UK title shot against Pete Dunne. And it was... I do.
But I'll talk about that in a few segments when we finally get to it.
Yeah, talk about that as well. But it's like wishful thinking. But to me, I see money in Travis Banks. But it is very...
Well, now we did get to see Travis Banks, maybe it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago on NXT.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a jobber there, so we really didn't get to see anything out of him that leads me to believe that he's up to the same caliber. But the guy I want to bring up, we haven't seen anything out of yet, but he looks fucking amazing, and we'll get to him in a minute. But next we have the debut of Isla Dawn, or Isla Dawn.
Isla Dawn.
And she just looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the entrance down. She's got the moves with her music, and she looks cool as hell. And by the time she gets down to the ring, because we've got her versus Nina Samuels.
Yep.
And I made a comment to him. I'm like, you know what? I think I could get used to NXT UK, because this is about the only WWE television where women's matches actually look kind of sexy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I hope that doesn't offend you.
Oh no, I don't mind. I can say this. Like the female NXT UK star are very more fashionable. Don't get me wrong. Especially you have some that are like already competing in the Mae Young Classic this year as well. Like
I'll just say Isla Dawn looked exceptional in this match, and I highly recommend, not just for the look. Obviously, maybe I'm being a little pervy here, but this match was actually, as short as it was a really good match.
mm-hmm.
What do you think about it, Jerry?
Well, we had already seen Nina Samuel, and she put on an extremely good match with who was it?
Tony Storm?
Yeah, Tony Storm.
Tony Storm was like one of the inaugural shows, I believe, and I was impressed by her in this match too. She got in some great offense, but the kicks and strikes from Isla Dawn, they were just on point. It was some of them just.
Which makes sense to the story of the match, because the story of the match is Samuels trying to work over Isla's left arm and her left shoulder. She even does a spot where she pulls her out of the corner just to turn around and throw her shoulder first into the middle turnbuckle. And that was just wicked looking.
It is.
Working on the arm to no avail. This is quite obviously a setup for an Isla Dawn win, because she got the video package.
Yep.
And not Nina Samuels. But it was a good match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Dawn wins with, I don't think they named this move.
I don't know. I just call it a side suplex or something like that. It kind of seems like it to me.
It's very different. It looks simplistic, but it's something that I've never seen anybody execute. It's set up like at the top where the head's at, her arm goes around like a vertical suplex, but she doesn't come around the other side of the head. Instead, she comes around the body underneath the arm and then grabs hold.
Yeah.
And does a vertical suplex kind of throw, but she finishes it with a jackhammer.
Yeah.
And it didn't look as impactful as a jackhammer, but it definitely looked different.
It looked efficient, is what it looked. It got her the win, but at the same time, yeah, we had to stop it. We had to try to come up with a name for it, because or like at least, you know, a basis of what it was. So there's originality there, but at the same time, it needs a name. So,
exactly.
Yeah, you can give it a name. I don't know if she already. My guess is she has it named, and either they don't like the name, so they want to come up with something new, or they just didn't think to say the name of the move.
I don't recall the finisher. I gotta look it up in like her matches at Progress. Because I know she has that one finisher name, but I don't know if it's like appropriate. Because you know how WWE is, like when it comes to like naming certain finisher for that. But
FU is now the AA, but you know,
yeah,
semantics.
That. But what do you guys think of Isla Dawn? Like her match she had at the NXT UK compared to her Mae Young Classic Round 1 match against Nicole Matthews?
I don't think I have gotten to that match yet. I'm still in round 1, so I don't think I've seen that one yet. And he doesn't watch the Mae Young Classic, so this was actually our first match. Isla Dawn. She looked good.
Yeah.
She didn't look spectacular. Like she didn't look like let's say Ronda Rousey looks, you know, unstoppable. Yeah. But she looked good. She didn't even look as good as Toni Storm, which leads me to believe that Toni Storm, if she faces her for the title, is probably going to win the title.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think that might be one of the spoilers that's out there, is that Toni Storm became the UK champ.
Well, didn't Toni win the Mae Young Classic finals at Evolution?
Yeah, but I think maybe it's not her. Maybe it's the other girl, the other block. Well, anyway.
Rhea Ripley?
Yeah, maybe it was Rhea Ripley.
Well, it is Rhea Ripley because, like, at our past Evolution pay-per-view, like, the guys did their prediction, and then myself and the girls, we did our prediction. We thought, like, Rhea Ripley and the NXT UK title will be, like, quote unquote have a match at Evolution, but it didn't happen. And from that, there's, like, quote unquote a dark match that it did take place, but they didn't even mention it, like, in all, like, certain reports about it. But
maybe we'll get it as a pre-tape match on a future episode of NXT.
Pretty much.
I can imagine if they crowned a women's champion for NXT UK, I can't imagine that they won't eventually show that match.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be like the NXT after an NXT takeover where the matches are all at the pay-per-view arena, but they call it like it's an NXT Full Sail show.
Yeah.
So moving on.
Okay.
Where were we? Oh.
Interview time.
With Pete Dunne. This is where the payoff comes from the Danny Burch match last week. We find out that Danny Burch is, in fact, the new number one contender for the NXT UK Championship. And this is just Pete Dunne saying that he's the best and he's going to beat Danny Burch. And I tend to fucking believe him.
Oh, yeah. Like, Pete Dunne's just a monster. Like I've thought that since I first saw him on NXT, and I'm thinking about it now, like, especially his match with Noam Dar on the on the first NXT or the UK show.
Yeah,
I was really impressed by that one because I can watch him break fingers pretty much all day.
Yeah, I cringe every time, but I can watch it all day.
Yeah,
and that's what he says. He's gonna beat him up. He's gonna snap his fingers, and he's going to stay the UK champion. We also end up, and we might as well talk about it now. We also end up with the same kind of video interview for Danny Burch, and he's a little more animated. Pete Dunne was very serious. He showed very little emotion other than the kind of little tick that he gets with his smirk. It made Danny Burch sound good, but it really didn't convince me at all that he is going to take the title from Pete Dunne, especially because we've got another contender coming up. First we have another video package.
Yep.
Everybody gets one.
Everybody.
It's just basically hyping up the debut or the debut, we like to say here, for Jordan Devlin, and that'll be coming up after this next video promo. This is the guy I want to talk about. Eddie Dennis. Third video promo, video package. It's so much more cinematic than any of the other video packages. So I kind of don't want to call it a video package because we make fun of those, but he looks like a serious contender for Pete Dunne in the UK Championship, and he doesn't even wrestle in these videos.
Nope. The dude doesn't have just like a chip on his shoulder. He's got like whole Pringles can worth of chips on his shoulder when it comes to Pete Dunne and Mandrew at this point.
Yeah, so if you guys out there in the No DQ Galaxy haven't watched previous episodes and haven't watched this one, all of these promos, this being the third one, have been for Eddie Dennis telling us about his story with Pete Dunne and Mark Andrews, where they came up together, and he ended up going for a professional career. And we find out in this one, he was the youngest principal in all of UK or all of England.
We're probably
Yeah, that sounds like one of those go-to phrases for a guy like Mo.
That's
Michael
right.
But then Pete Dunne and Mark Andrews ended up in the UK tournament, and they ended up, breaking into the UK, the NXT UK division, and really setting themselves apart. And he got jealous. He won't use the word jealous, but he got jealous. So he quit his, and he started training full time. And after just 4 months, got his first tryout with WWE. And I think he said after 10 months, he was signed.
Yeah.
So just those stats in themselves tell us this guy is going to be awesome.
He is.
So I'm looking forward to him finally debuting, and I don't know about eventually. I hope his first match is for the UK Championship against Pete Dunne.
Do you think it's going to be an actual debut match, or do you think he's actually just going to show up and probably interfere at the end of the match or anything like that?
I don't know what it's going to be. I'm hoping that we see him debut in a championship match. They just keep building him up with these kind of promos, and he'll be just fine for that.
Yeah.
If you guys want to see like past like Eddie Dennis match, I recommend him versus Mark Andrews at Hello Wembley. It was a grudge match in the making. So a little bit about it, like Mark Andrews and Eddie Dennis, they were tag team. Eddie turned heel on Mark, and then all of a sudden, same thing as Ciampa, he got injured, and he had to be out for almost a year. He came back, and then him and Andrews had a match, and he won. It's all spice of more of the jealousy. So I recommend watching that. I would say it's one of the best Eddie Dennis match I've seen in quite some time now. He's like one of the top heels in Progress. Add a little fun fact for you guys. Him, Mark Andrew, and Pete Dunne has a wrestling clothing line called Defend Indie Wrestling. That's where I wear this bracelet all the time in every video just to support wrestling. So little known fun fact just to let you guys know.
Kind of the fangirl vibe the second we even mentioned Eddie Dennis' name right there. You're like...
Yep.
He's into a lot of independent wrestling, so you two would probably have a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
You actually did while you're finishing with the camera.
Yep.
Yeah, I was completely zoned out at that point, but I'll get it working hopefully by next week, because if we do have a guest next week, I somehow I doubt they're going to have the same program that you have. So you
Exactly.
Which, by the way, thank you for recording the episode for us.
No problem. Even though it's like 1:15 in the morning, but it's okay.
For all of our fans in the No DQ Galaxy, if the format seems a little weird for you, we will have it fixed by next week, I promise. Otherwise, if it's just the two of us, it'll be the same format as before. But we have the awesome new background. I bought a giant Union Jack flag just for the show. I thought about buying a UK championship because the other night on SmackDown they had a sale for the night of just tees and titles, and the UK championship was like down to like $230, something like that. And I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't spend that kind of money because all it would be for would be to sit here and look pretty.
It would be your luck that like there'd be a unification match, not even a later.
It's not even that good of a looking title. It's not that good of a looking title. It's basically the same shape as the WWE Championship, and then they added UK stuff to it. I'm not a huge fan. I might get the toy though, because that's like $15-$20. That's more my speed. But next we had a match. I think this is the second to last match for the night, which is good because this show is getting pretty long. Yep. We had Jordan Devlin. Obviously, this is going to be an enhancement match because he got the video promo. And who do we have?
Tucker.
Sure.
Not Tucker Smith. Not James Tucker. Just Tucker. Again, like Sting and Bono and Cher, he has one name.
Tucker.
And it's not even that good.
Give him the Mr. Candy thing. He just have his first name be Tucker and his second name be Tucker.
Tucker. This was an okay match. Tucker looked good. I mean, he looked good in the last match against who was it? I think it was last week. Yeah, against Ashton Smith.
Yeah.
Of course, it was an enhancement match for Ashton Smith, as tiny.
The video package.
As tiny as he is. Now, Tucker looked bigger versus Ashton, but in this one, he was basically pound for pound the same size as Jordan Devlin. But it was obvious Jordan Devlin was going over. I was okay with this match. Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it thoroughly because I saw a lot of flashes of his trainer, Finn Balor. Pretty much in this match is what it was. The fact that even his entrance was almost hypnotic because, like, Granny Point really played up the fact that he's from Ireland. He's like Ireland. Yeah, represent.
He couldn't have been more Irish unless he came out with like a Finley costume with a shillelagh.
He could rock the shillelagh at that point.
All green with a top hat.
Yeah.
You're Irish. You're better than us.
Didn't Becky Lynch try that as a Irish river dancer when she first started in NXT?
Really?
Yep.
Was Jordan Devlin the second person on this show that they made reference to the fact that he was trained by Finn Balor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember who the first one was, but he was definitely the second. And I'm thinking the whole time, like, what's the big deal? Like, yeah, Finn Balor's on the main roster, but his championship run was one day, and he hasn't done shit since.
And in order to really appreciate Finn Balor, you have to go back to his Fergal Devitt / Prince Devitt stages back when he was in Japan, and also when he first started the Bullet Club.
Well, yeah, but they name drop here because they know it's a WWE product. So to them, really, the beginning and ending of your history is all within the WWE program. And so I'm like, why is Finn Balor a name drop? Like, that's just nitpicking on my part.
I don't know, because like when Finn Balor actually came into WWE, it seemed like everybody had already known who he was. Well, which is weird, because like back in the day, you didn't have that kind of thing. These wrestlers would come in, look brand new and everything, but then he was well established.
Well, that's the internet for you.
You know, and the crowd let you know that. So.
Well, I was less impressed by the fact that he was trained by Finn Balor than I was by his finisher. His finisher was freaking cool looking.
Yeah.
It was, most of these finishers, I can't even think of names for the parts of them, let alone the finishers themselves. I don't think they gave this one a name, but it was a fireman's carry thrown up into a Michinoku driver, but he lands it as a Michinoku side slam. And it just looked wicked as hell. He gets the pinfall off of it. I thought it was a good match, but I don't remember anything other than the ending.
Yeah, I was about to say, anybody that has been an enhancement talent before has seemingly showed up on this show.
Yeah, if you've been a jobber before and you show up again, you're going to be a jobber again. That's pretty much what they're saying.
And granted, it was a great, it was a great showing for Jordan Devlin, naturally, and Tucker looked a lot better in this match, I believe, too. Or at least he was on par, because he made Devlin look good, and Devlin made him look good. That was the whole idea.
Yeah, but it wasn't memorable to me at all.
Yeah.
Was there any points in this match other than that awesome finisher that you enjoyed?
Well, I was pretty impressed with both guys. I'm pretty impressed with Tucker for the most part. Like, during the match, like let me see. I wrote down like one of the notes. Okay, like you see Tucker did this moonsault, like transition to like a elbow drop to Devlin. I think that was one of the like a pretty interesting spot. And then you saw Jordan Devlin.
That was a little bit like, he didn't get too much offense, but he actually did get that.
Was that the standing moonsault?
No, it was just like on top of the apron. But Devlin did the standing moonsault to Tucker.
Okay, that's the one. Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah.
That one. I'm actually looking forward to the next announcement, and they say it's in 2 weeks, but I kind of feel like we're going to end up seeing it next week on episode 2, or it'd be episode 6. Yeah. We're going to get to see Toni Storm versus Dakota.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
This is going to be a showcase match. Both of these girls look good. They both have previous wins. Cindy, who do you think is going to win this match?
I'm going to have to go with Toni Storm. I mean, I like Dakota Kai, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely going to be Toni Storm. She got this for the win. Especially like she's like the top baby face. Come on now. Yeah.
What do you think, Jerry?
Well, you have Kai and Storm, which are like two heavy fan favorites already going into the company. So whenever I see a match like this, I automatically think heel interference.
Yeah,
So,
nobody's going over clean.
So nobody's going to go over in this match. I think it's going to get thrown out. I think there's going to be some form of interference by either a new female wrestler that wants to be in the fray.
Like Jenny.
Probably even Jenny. That's what I was thinking. And that's going to set up for a feud there, or at least a couple good matches leading into something for the UK Women's Championship. So.
Well, okay, so you say Toni Storm, you say non-finish.
I say no contest.
I'm going to say Dakota Kai, just so we can split it all evenly.
Okay.
For no particular reason, I kind of agree with Jerry. I feel like since they're both such big baby faces, it makes more sense to have a non-finish. But I could honestly see either one of them going over just for any number of reasons. If they do go to a finish for this match is basically just going to make both of them look great, and then one of them happens to get the victory in the end. And then they stand up, shake, hug, and there you go. So this is where we got the video interview with Danny Burch. We'll skip over that because it really is worth skipping over.
Yeah.
And we go straight to the main event. A different main event than we thought we were going to get going into the show, but it ended up being awesome. This main event made the entire 2 hours of watching NXT UK tonight completely worth it to me.
Yeah.
How did you enjoy the main event, Cindy?
I actually quite enjoy this main event match. Like, I mean, both guys killing each other. Yep. But so far, pretty impressive. Yeah.
You had the quick strikes of Mark Andrews, the high flying, and then you had the power of Wolfgang and his ability to just take these strikes and not flinch. It showcased both of their styles. They worked well together, and it told a great story, not just for the match, but for the ending to the show, which went a couple of minutes past the ending of the match, and we'll get to that. But during this match, we saw a different kind of Wolfgang than we saw in his debut.
Yeah.
Which was it the first episode or the second episode?
It was the second episode.
So we saw him in the second episode, full on heel. He was not a tweener. He was not, the crowd was not behind him. He wasn't doing anything to show respect to his opponent. In this match, however, we actually started off the match with him showing a little bit of cocky respect, like backing up Mark Andrews into the corner just to back off and not do anything, just to let him out. Backs him up into the corner, powers him up onto the top, and then backs away and just says, yeah, I can do that.
Yep.
And it makes me wonder, well, why are they suddenly turning this guy babyface? Because that's something a babyface would do.
Yeah.
But we end up finding out this match was just... It was back and forth and freaking awesome.
It was a conflict of styles, but at the same time, it was also... That's how that dance went. For every power move that he had, Mark Andrews found a way to either turn it into something that could, use that momentum against them, or
counter it, get out of it.
It was
snake out,
fall out. It was beautiful. It was.
But just when you think that there's nothing that Wolfgang can do, that Mark Andrews is countering everything, just when you think that Mark Andrews is control, I think even the announcers at one point, Wolfgang was on the outside, and they're like, what is Wolfgang going to do? He doesn't know what he's going to do. And then Mark Andrews suicide dives out of him, and it's like, nope, he knows what he's going to do because he catches him, picks him up, and then throws him. He throws him onto the ring apron, which, of course, we all know from Michael Cole is the hardest part of the apron. Andrews only falls about a foot and a half.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a good idea, but when they replayed it, because they did replay it, it didn't look quite as devastating as it sounded the first time.
No, it didn't.
But the finish of this match we saw Wolfgang go into a vertical suplex, and Andrews kind of flips around in midair from the vertical and comes down with a stunner that they called the Stun Dog Millionaire.
Or the Slumdog Millionaire.
It's a play off of Slumdog Millionaire, I guess.
Yeah.
They call it Sun God
I'm
knows.
over here. I like this. I like that name. It's so like a stupid name.
And then he goes up top for a beautifully executed, horribly landed shooting star press. Looked good in the air, but then he comes down, and I think maybe the tops of his forearms actually land across Wolfgang.
Yeah.
But it's enough for the pin.
Yeah.
It was a great match. I really enjoyed it. Made both guys look great. It told a good story, and when we finished the match, Wolfgang shows respect. He gets up and they shake each other's hand, and Wolfgang goes to leave, but he's halfway to the back, and who do we see come out?
The Coffee Brothers.
I will tell you now, this gentleman right here called the entirety of the end of this match. He's been doing this for a couple of weeks. It's kind of weird. I'm starting to think that he's watching this before we get to it. But he doesn't have the network, so I know he's not doing that. But he calls the entirety of this. So we have the Coffee Brothers come out, go for the 2-on-1 double team beatdown. And then from there we have, oh God, again, the guy with 3 names.
Flash Morgan Webster.
He comes out for the save, but of course at this point it's basically a 1-on-2 because Mandrews is down.
Mm-hmm.
And so from there we see the guy that's just now showing respect to these two, or at the very least to Mandrews.
Wolfgang's actually showing concern, or that's what it looks like.
Because he's hanging out at the top of the ramp, just seeing all this go down. Like, should I help? But then Flash comes in. He's like, okay, they got this. But then they beat down Flash, and he's like, oh, I guess I need to help. So he gets in the ring, and the Coffee Brothers scatter, and they go to the outside, and they're just looking on as he picks up Flash Morgan, and then exactly what he knew was going to happen happened.
Yep. Nice stiff clothesline.
Nice stiff clothesline.
Yes. And from there, the attack happened, and like that I think that's why, like you said, like they're showing all the face and all the respect and everything. That way they can turn him like into a heel, just like that. Just having
as if he wasn't already a heel, but they can insert him into this feud that now has got a 3-on-3.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have Flash, we've got Mandrews, and we have the guy with Sasha Banks' last name,
Travis Banks.
The Coffee Brothers, and now Wolfgang.
Mm-hmm.
And they look good together. Jerry mentioned they actually kind of look like brothers.
You look like Wolfgang Coffee.
A better version of Showbar.
Did you see this coming? Did you see him knocking out Flash Morgan, or did you think he was being face at this point?
Well, I already kind of knew it's gonna happen for the fact that I've seen Wolfgang as a true heel. I mean, I was pretty surprised that he accepted Mark Andrews' handshake at first, and then he walked out. But then after like the whole Coffee Brothers situation, I was like, yeah, he's gonna definitely attack them. There's no way in hell that Wolfgang is a baby face. Like, no.
If he was gonna be babyface, he wouldn't have waited for Webster to even come out. He would have actually ran back in the ring and started helping right then and there. But he, like you saw that he was either conflicted or he had his mind made up and wanted to see more punishment be done.
Yeah.
But you knew that something was up, and yeah, that was a good payoff.
Well, you knew something was up before the match even started. I think we were 3 or 4 segments before the match, and he called that shit. So I'm in awe of his predicting abilities. So I'm hoping that I don't think we were gonna do a predictions video and see if you wanted to do it with us, but it's so late.
Yeah.
We're just gonna text our predictions into TJS. Shout out to TJS and the rest of the gang.
Yeah, here you got my predictions pick.
So that was our second episode of the night of NXT, and that was the main event. And of course, for the main event, we do 5 liters of tea out of the gallon. So again, since you're our guest, we're going to let you go first. Where would you put this main event out of 5 liters?
Well, I would say this main event is pretty much better than the episode 3 of NXT. I'm glad that we're doing like both of the comparisons of it. And quite frankly, I did enjoy like the ending of the match, how it lead to afterwards. I'm going to have to go with a 3.5 out of 5.
not bad. I'm gonna lean a little higher than that. To me, this match was not only better than the entirety of the previous episode, it was also better than the rest of this episode, which I liked. I really liked this episode all the way up till the end. To me, this was a really great match. It was the best story that we've watched tonight out of 2 hours of NXT programming. I want to give it 3 3/4 stars.
He very much just took the words right out of my mouth, like that whole thing. Because, yeah, the short of the Eddie Dennis story, I think this is like the best storyline they have going thus far.
Yeah, and overall the episodes, yeah, this best storyline too.
Yeah, because like granted, like the rest of them are just tales of old time or just trying to get contenders made up and everything. You don't really have much of a good feud going. And for right now, you have both the Eddie Dennis story, and now you have this one, which could ultimately end up in a really great 6-man tag match that could either be
well, if you add Eddie Dennis into the group of the Coffee Brothers and Wolfgang, you could add a fourth person to the group of Flash Morgan Webster, Mandrews, and the guy with Sasha Banks' last name. You could add a fourth guy to that in the next coming weeks, and you could have a War Games. You could have 2 War Games matches at War Games, 4-on-4. Apparently, that's their new new format for War Games.
This coming from the guy who hates the new format for War Games.
Yeah,
what's another War Games match?
I'm just saying it could be done, and it would be a way to showcase NXT UK on the next NXT pay-per-view. I don't see it actually happening, but it's an idea. I'm curious to see where Dennis is going to fit into this, or is that just going to be a separate storyline for Pete Dunne?
I think if anything, it's good. I think he's going to go after Mandrews first, and then go after Pete Dunne, because that just seems like a better build. At least they'll actually have Mandrews.
So if he's going to go after Mandrews, then how is he going to fit into this 3-on-3 storyline that they've got going on?
He's not going to. That's the thing. He's going to strike out on his own after this, whether it be like basically Mandrews, Webster, and Banks coming on top in this feud, or maybe they get defeated, but then he'll show up and attack Andrews.
So Mandrews will go off on his own, and maybe we'll see a tag team between Travis Banks and the guy with 3 names.
Yeah,
Flash Morgan.
And that way, like they'll have a singles match between those two where Dennis either takes out Mandrews in general, or makes it such a threat to Pete Dunne that the match gets made, and that's how we're gonna go from there.
Well, we have a mid-card title in UK or in NXT. We've got the North American Championship, so I could see that being the kind of profile feud that they could introduce a mid-card title into NXT UK.
I don't want to see many more belts. I want to. So that's the thing. It's almost like video packages now. Everybody gets a freaking belt.
I don't know. I'm the weird one. I'm always debating Virtue and Aaron and everybody else. I'm always a fan of more belts. I think more belts means more possible storylines. You get more people involved because you can spread the wealth. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we've got Cindy yawning. I feel like yawning. I'm sure you've yawned. And this has been a very long night.
Yep.
I want to thank everybody in the No DQ Galaxy for joining us for this episode of our NXT Party. Again, I want to remind everybody that we invite you to come and have a spot of NXT with us. If you would like to join us, as Cindy did tonight, hopefully in a better format, we'll figure that out. Let me know. Contact me on Twitter. So this would be a good time to do the plugs. Cindy.
All right, guys. Well, you guys can follow me at nodq.com/Cindy. That's going to take you directly to my Twitter page. Also, make sure to follow me at simply_C_OK on Instagram and on YouTube channel #1. And also second YouTube channel where I do independent wrestling hype videos. Also, we do independent wrestling top 10 countdowns and discussion ran at Tyson Poppy Production, along with myself, my buddy Brian, and Tyler Coles, not TJS, but my brother and Tyler, all right? And by the way, to make it clear, I don't add people on Facebook because I have my friends and family, so I just want to make this clear, you guys, all right? So just follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and on my YouTube channel. That's it.
You're in good company because he doesn't plug his Facebook, and I've since stopped accepting friend requests on Facebook from people that I only have you or Aaron or any of the No DQ
same here
in common, because I like to have my Facebook available to me at work so I can see memes and whatnot without getting spoiled on Monday and Tuesday nights because I'm working while Raw and SmackDown are on. So I apologize to anybody out there if you've sent me a request on Facebook and I have not accepted it. That is not because I didn't know you sent it. That is on purpose. I invite you, though, please find me on Twitter. You can go to nodq.com/Stephan, as I said before, or find me at Stephan R. Osborne. You can talk to both of us on Facebook if you want to. We are both a part of Armbar. That is his group. It's all capital letters, ARMBAR, exclamation point. So if Facebook is all you have, you can talk to us on there, share memes, whatnot. Otherwise, make sure you go to nodq.com for all your latest news and rumors. They'll be covering, Aaron will be covering Crown Jewel coming up tomorrow. Today, by the time you guys are watching this, he'll also be covering Survivor Series, and he will be doing a meetup for NoDQ's 20-year anniversary. You'll see Cindy there.
Yep.
You'll see Jeff Meacham there. You'll see Aaron there. I think there will be a few others.
And Interstate Kyle.
There you go. That's the one. Interstate Kyle should be there as well. So if you'd like to RSVP to that, go to nodq.com/LA. Go to nodq.com/shirts if you would like to help support the site. The two best ways to help support NoDQ: spread the word. Anybody that you know that likes to watch wrestling, tell them about NoDQ.com for their news. Tell them about NoDQ.com's channel on YouTube for their entertainment. So, for the new, all right, I think she's over here. For the new First Lady of NoDQ, Cindy G. Of course, for the General Jerry Slaughter, I am the Wizard of NoDQ, Stephan Osborne. And thanks for coming out and sharing a cup of NXT with us.
Cheers, y'all.